Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. This album review is going to be a triple shot of soundtracks. Two of the soundtracks, this one and the next one, are from the same movie, sort of. And then, I'll explain after. And then the third soundtrack's just a completely different soundtrack, but it kind of gives a different feel from what these soundtracks are. Totally different. Well, I'll get into it as we go. You'll understand. So, The Commitments. One of my all-time favorite movies. I have watched this movie a ton. I actually thought I had done this review already. I swear I thought I had done this review already. And it's actually funny because this isn't the only one. This one and what's going to be the third review in this particular series are, I swear I had done them before, and I haven't done them before. I went through my list like 3 times, double checking, and I hadn't done them. And I could not believe I hadn't done them because I really thought I had. Because I know I pulled them out to do them before. Because I was going to do them back before Christmas, actually. And apparently they got sidelined and I didn't do them, but I thought I still did them. All right. As I was saying, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love watching this movie regularly. I will put this movie on. This was back before people would put movies on to do in the background or put shows on to do in the background. That's what I did with this movie. Before I was common through streaming, I should say. That's what I did with this movie. I had a copy of it on VHS, which, let me tell you, I wore out pretty good. And then eventually I got I believe it was the 10th anniversary edition on DVD. And I still have that copy and I still watch it regularly. I love it. It's still one of my favorites. This CD is most of the soundtrack, but not all of it. And oddly, what I would have considered some of the more important songs from the movie were missing off of this soundtrack. Sneak peek. Ooh, okay. All right. So, where am I going with this? Here's where I'm going with this. We're going to go. The Commitments was, all right, I'm going to read a little bit here. The Commitments is from a novel of the same name by Roddy Doyle. And the novel was released in 1987. The movie was directed by Alan Parker from a screenplay written by Doyle, Dick Clement, and Ian LaFreniere. It's set in the north side of Dublin. And it's really cool because the movie, when did the movie come out? When was the movie done? Hold on. Okay, the movie was filmed between August and October of 1990. The soundtrack here says it's from 91, so we'll say the movie was released in 91. Now, Ireland was still very, very much in turmoil at that time, man. Like, Ireland that we all know now, wonderful progressive Ireland that we know now, is not the Ireland that it was back when this movie was made, okay? This is a movie that is honestly beautiful about being completely about everything that makes being a musician great, which is to say the movie is basically all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but through a band that calls itself Dublin Soul, because that's what the whole soundtrack is it's either soul songs or songs done in a soul style, or it's really kind of, to me, it's kind of Motown-y kind of stuff, being from next to Detroit. That's where my association goes. Old school Motown, the cool Motown stuff, not the poppy Mariah Carey Motown-y crap. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when Motown was. Anyway, it's not even Motown, so let's be clear. Like that's all right. 5 minutes in, I haven't even gotten the music yet. So, anyways, the idea is this is a band in between, we'll say 1997 and 1990 in Ireland, when Ireland is, pardon me, but a shithole at that time, unfortunately. Religious politics, oh my god. Anyways, I'm glad that a lot of that isn't what it used to be. And I'm glad that that's left out of this movie, actually. That's the great part about this. That's kind of left out of this movie. And the movie is fantastic, and the music is what makes a movie fantastic. And the music on here is the music the band plays throughout the movie, with one other song in there, the title credit song, which is not in the, yeah. The title credit song is done by the guy that actually plays the manager of the band. I'll get to it when I get to it. Okay, so Mustang Sally. Mustang Sally is the first song on this album, and arguably it's one of the most important songs on this one, because it's the song that they're using when the band's getting together and gelling in the very beginning and trying to get their shit together, man. And it's Mustang Sally is a great song. But the energy and the vibe that the band gives it on this recording is wonderful. Because the other thing is, too, when they were filming the movie, they were going live to tape. So when they were doing the recordings of the movie, they were actually filming it live. And the people were actually performing it properly. So there was no bullshit when it came to recording this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't mean that every song on here matches the song on the movie exactly. No, but then you get to Take Me to the River. I like Take Me to the River. That's a good tune. The presentation on this album, like, there is great horns on here. There is fantastic drumming throughout this entire album, and technically there's two different drummers, going by, if everybody honestly is playing their instruments like they're supposed to be, and everybody is performing the songs live like they're supposed to be, there's two different drummers on here, and they do fantastic jobs. Take Me to the River has got this great, Mustang Sally has this great kind of slow but upbeat kind of groove going on. Take Me to the River has this great high energy, man, where it's just also, whoa, take me to the river. Okay, so it's great. Okay. And then it slows down a little bit. They map this out very nicely. It slows down a bit. You get to the girls, the commitment ets, as the joke is. They're not really the commitment-ettes, they're the commitments, but it's just because the ladies in the band are just as important when it comes to the singing as the one male that is a vocalist. And they do a great job of kind of giving everybody proper representation. Like, the girls may not get as many songs individually as the male vocalist does, but they, throughout the movie, do get the same amount of vocals, I say. But I also give proper background vocals like this real credence, like these are not simple background vocals like, a bunch of guys in a rock band getting up to the mic or whatnot and giving a little background vocal. This is proper female background vocals with the harmonies and stuff like that, the stuff that really matters and is important. Then you get to the dark end of the street. And that goes exactly, actually, with what I was kind of saying. Totally, the male vocalist is the one that's driving the entire song. But, the background vocals, the song would not work without the girls adding the background vocals that they do. And the background vocals that they add aren't anything insane. they're just very delicate and beautiful, but it makes the song. Even without the music, just just the vocals. If you took all the music out of there and you did just the vocals, beautiful. Beautiful. Nice slow song too. And the other cool thing about this is a lot of these songs clock in at proper, what would be classified as proper single time. And that means no more than 3 minutes and 45 seconds at the absolute most. And that's if they've got a good music extended break in it. And it has to be a cherry music extended break. Otherwise, it's a lot of 3 minutes on average, we'll say. After that, we get to Destination Anywhere. And Destination Anywhere, it's a fun, upbeat song. And if I were a female and I were into female pop, Destination Anywhere is the song I would use. If I wanted to get a girl into this and a girl was really into Destination or into female pop or whatnot, Destination Anywhere is kind of the way I would use to kind of get them into this. You know what I'm saying? It really does have that early 80s bubblegum Madonna, Cyndi Lauper kind of pop sort of feel to it. It's fantastic that way, but that's exactly why, I'm not into it. I'm a little more dude cliche with my music. But I can still appreciate it all the same. I Can't Stand the Rain. It's not really a huge song in the movie, and it's not really a huge song on the soundtrack for me either. It is really good, and I like the vocalist doing it. And I'm sorry I can't. I've got the list in front of me here, sort of, and I'm. There are so many vocalists, and if I start saying the actor's name instead of the act, okay, sorry. I Can't Stand the Rain, though, is a great set of female vocalists, and it's a great song, and I really dig the song. Um, but it's not one of the songs that really stands out for me on the album. Then we get to Try a Little Tenderness. Oh, this one's good. This one's really good. It's got such a beautiful, it's one of those songs that's got such a beautiful slow beginning, and it just lulls you into this sweet, beautiful trance. And then when it hits the pickup, man, it just takes you ripping through and gets you to the end. It's like, whoa. To me, it's, if I were to translate it into a rock song, it would be the one that I would always do in the encore right off the bat. Absolutely, it'd be the first song coming back out of the encore because it just has that perfect vibe to it. And coincidentally, that's the way it's used in the movie, I believe, if I remember correctly. Treat Her Right. Treat Her Right's okay. It's I believe that is, no, this one I'm gonna actually have to check on. This one I believe is, yeah, I don't have it listed here, crud. Sorry, I don't know who it is that's performing it on this one. My apology. And off the top of my head, it's all right. Then that's followed up by Do Right Woman, Do Right Man, and this is another one where it briefly features in the movie. It's not really a prominent role I find in the movie. Then you get to Mr. Pitiful. And once again, we got another great high energy one. This one has a great place in the movie. It's really fun. It's high energy the whole way through. It's basically 2 minutes of full on energy. It's one of those ones where it'd be a great Ramones styled song to cover, kind of thing. I Never Loved a Man is really tasteful and really nice. It's slow, it's sexy. It's done in all the right ways. And I am familiar with the original version. Or at least, yeah, well, yeah, it was originally Aretha Franklin. And I'm really familiar with the Aretha Franklin version. And am I going to say that you can't tell that this is an Irish white girl singing it versus Aretha Franklin being a black woman from America? No, I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is you really can't tell that there is color, honestly. Like, if you really listen to it, yes. If you know what you're listening for, yes, you can hear it, because you can hear little bits of accent, stuff like that. But that soul that is meant to come out of there just comes out so beautifully. Oh man, it's just beautifully tasteful. Then you got In the Midnight Hour, which is a great song. Wonderful. I don't necessarily listen to it all that much on this here. It has a more prominent part in the movie than it does on this album for me. Then you get to Bye Bye Baby, which I'm not a huge fan of. Bye Bye Baby, it's, once again, that'd be one of those great girl pop kind of songs. Kind of like in the vein of when Kylie Minogue did her cover of Locomotion. You know, I could see, once again, that 80s girl pop doing the cover of Bye Bye Baby. It would have been right there with Tiffany and I Think We're Alone Now, right? And then the album finishes with Slip Away. And Slip Away is really, really good tune as well. It's not a song that I would necessarily listen to regularly on my own. But on this album, I really do enjoy it. I think it's really good, and I like the way that it is presented. And I think that one is one of the ones that features the guy that plays the manager on vocals. It was really interesting because if you watch the behind the scenes, the guy that plays the manager, Robert Arkins, who plays Jimmy Rabbit, I've got the cast at least up here. He has a wonderful voice, and they thought that it was a shame that he didn't get to sing. So they actually recorded a couple songs on purpose with him singing, and they still use them in the movie. They used them at, I want to say, opening credits and the closing credits. They use songs with him singing. It's been a while since I've watched the movie, and when I listen to it, I just hear a bunch of great songs. And I sometimes blank on who's singing what, because it's like, it's like when you're listening to, for me, when I used to listen to old Motown mix and that, it was always on mixtapes, cassettes, right? Because it was always Motown singles. It was very rare there was an album of all one artist kind of thing. And because of that, I always think of this one band as being, just one band, even though they're in the movie, even though there's only one male vocalist, I always think of this album as there's always two male vocalists. And that's important to me too, because me as a musician in a band, when I played in a band, we always had multiple vocalists, and I always think the band should have multiple vocalists. I think it's really cool when bands have multiple vocalists, and they do actually feature more than one vocalist. I know it makes it a little harder for marketing, but that's because they always want to make one person the star so they can control the whole band through the star of the band, instead of letting each person kind of be their own little star in the band, or having a band that, it's band united kind of thing. Like the Beatles, where you got John, Paul, George, and Ringo. George is my favorite, but let's face it, John and Paul were the two that kind of ruled it, and Ringo is the guy that got to tag along when most people look at it as, okay? Let me be fair, Ringo contributed to the band no matter what you want. The problem is drummers always get the crap end of the stick because, you just banging on a drum. I play bass, and I know how to play piano, and I know how to play guitar. I'm not a good guitarist. I am a bad guitarist. But let me tell you, ooh, it's not just simply banging on a drum. Anyways, so where I'm going with all this is, I look at this as because I've worked with a band where, I've had multi vocalists in the band, and I appreciate the Beatles. Mastodon's another actual great example of multiple vocalists in a band. Because of that, I really have a more of an appreciation for having multiple male vocalists in a band, even long as usually they got something else to do. Like, I mean, within my band, there was the lead guitarist was the lead vocalist, plus I did vocals and I was the drummer, and we encouraged the bassist to do vocals, but she usually only did them on the albums, on the recordings that we made. And so going by that, anyways, I highly recommend anybody that wants to watch a movie that's got some great positive fun energy, watch The Commitments. It's a great movie. I don't want to ruin the ending for anybody. The ending is one of my absolute favorite parts about the movie. Fantastic ending. The movie the whole way around. The movie, for being when it came out, was very meta. Very meta. It was very self-aware in a lot of ways. So, I recommend that. If you like the movie, definitely get the soundtrack. It's great. It's a shame that I don't have a digitally remastered version. This is the original CD releasing from that printing time period. And it has that sound quality, unfortunately. The downside to it. But let me know what you think, folks. If you've seen the movie, I'm willing to talk about the movie in the comments. That's cool. If you want to talk music, let's talk the music. Otherwise, please like button, subscribe button, Patreon. Peace, love, take care.